I'm becoming a bit of a Curtis Blaydes mark. I've always kind of liked Curtis's fighting style, and I think he's got a good look, and I'm a wrestler, and he was a wrestler, so there's kind of a brotherhood there. I've never met Curtis Blaydes, by the way. My job's not to come over here and shine up my buddy. I've never met Curtis Blaydes, but I feel like I know Curtis Blaydes pretty well, just from following his career and seeing the stuff he did, and he got into the pros. And at one point, I didn't love Curtis's attitude, because Curtis said, I don't give a damn thing about the money. That's all I care about. I'm not going to do media. I'm not going to be nice to fans. I'm not going to go... I want paid, and that's the end of it. Curtis, even if that's true, let's not have that be the message. But this is his message, and a lot of other people heard that too. It wasn't just me, and a lot of people held Curtis at an arm's reach. But Curtis has gone out there and done some very heavy lifting, and I'm not sure he's been given credit for it. Nobody wants to fight Ngannou. Curtis wanted a rematch with Ngannou's ass, okay? So don't question his courage, and don't question that he's willing to walk out there. Now, if all he wants is paid to walk out there, but he's willing to walk out there with everybody, I think you've got to give Curtis the benefit of the doubt here. But Curtis has the same game plan every single time. Take a guy down, beat him up. Every fighter has a game plan every single time, but some game plans are less fun to observe than that one. Curtis in his last fight with Junior Dos Santos, who I believe to be the best boxer in MMA. Definitely in the heavyweight division, but I think in all of MMA. Curtis tries to take him down. Junior does a great job of stuffing the takedowns, and we know that Junior has that skill. I mean, he had the trilogy with Cain Velasquez. He's been in there with some top guys. We know that Junior has got very good wrestling defense, and he put it on display against Blaydes, so Blaydes had to go to plan B, which is now meaning he's got to trade with one of the great strikers in the sport. He does, and he wins that battle. I mean, that was some more heavy lifting by Curtis Blaydes, and that's also a win over a former world champion. Now, it appears that Curtis would like to go on and fight Derek Lewis. And it appears that as far as top guys go, there's really nobody else available. So that fight is possible. And that fight would be fun. And that fight would work. I think Derek Lewis and Curtis Blaydes are both leaving out one option. And I think it's the option they should both be going after. And that option is Fabricio Werdum. I think when you look at the division and you look who's available, you're missing who's just about to become available. Curtis Blaydes just went out and got the jump over a former world champion. That matters. There are very few guys that go into a world title fight, which ultimately was Curtis Blaydes wants. But there's very few athletes that get that opportunity without getting past a former champion at some point. Curtis just did that. Curtis to then want to be in there with another former world champion, which would represent, should he get the win, 2 champions he's beaten. The history of the sport says if you get 1, you've got to be in consideration. He can get by 2. I think Curtis is in a pretty good spot. The other side of that coin, I would love to see Derek Lewis fight Werdum. I think that Derek Lewis also belongs in there with some very stiff and big competition. And Derek Lewis is one of these guys that's so athletic and so dynamic on his feet. And if you want to have any opportunity with Fabricio, you've got to be able to do some crazy stuff too. Fabricio's going to reach for your leg, come back and elbow you in the head. Fabricio's going to hit you with spinning wheel kicks, which has never even been attempted, let alone successfully done in the heavyweight division. But this is something that Derek Lewis understands a little bit of as well. And I think if you just look at that matchup, it's a lot of fun. Now, is Chael going to get his way? I don't think so, because Fabricio Werdum wants to fight Olenek, which is also a very good fight. It's a very good fight because Olenek's wild on his feet. Fabricio's creative on his feet. Olenek's got a whole bunch of submissions, but Werdum's one of the great submission specialists ever, representative of being an Abu Dhabi world champion. That's also a very fun fight. I think if I'm Fabricio, I stick with the Olenek route. I think if I'm Blaydes or I'm Lewis, I start bringing Fabricio's name into the fold. I think that that would be wiser. And I think that maybe Blaydes would agree with me. I think that perhaps Blaydes and Team Blaydes looked at the current rankings, looked at the current rosters, but forgot to know Fabricio is just about to get a license.